Chair A. It's now 6 p.m.
I call the meeting of the Greensville County Board of Supervisors to order. Can we all stand? I'm sorry. I have a motion to go into, regular business.
So moved.
All those in favor of the roll call vote.
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane. Supervisor Conwell. Chair A.
Aye. Now we all can stand for pledge of allegiance. And I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we come to you today just to say thank you. Thank you for another day, and thank you for the opportunity to get things right. Lord, we ask that you stay with us tonight as we meet, and let us take ourselves out of this business and do what's right by the citizens of Greensville County. All these blessings we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. At this time, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Chair Eastrop, staff recommends to amend the agenda as follows. Under section 5, approval of consent agenda, add item A, approval of minutes, regular meeting minutes of the January 5th, 2026 board meeting. Under section C, add item number 3, approval of payroll for January 31st, 2026 in the amount of $780,582.92. After section 7, items with appointment, add the following: comments concerning the Washington Park Community Center lease matter and subsequent action this evening. Section 9, old business, add item C, resolution 2639, rescinding cost of living increase. Section 10, new business, add item C, resolution 2637, declaration of local emergency, and also add item B, resolution 2638, ending declaration of local emergency. And as we discussed before, these items, we had to add them because we had to have the agenda done early with the inclement weather. So staff requests that you add these items as submitted to amend the agenda.
Can I get a motion that we approve the amended agenda?
Second.
There's a move and second that we approve agenda as amended. All those in favor of the roll call vote.
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair A.
Aye. At this time, can I get an approval of our consent agenda to include the approval of minutes, which is added item A, budgetary matters and warrants?
What you said, the agenda, the consent agenda?
Consent agenda.
I haven't had a chance to look at this, and I don't know if it's inclusive or not. But at the last meeting, I did make the statement. We have an administrative manual and procedures, and I think we would do good to follow those and know what they are, because we have a board meeting where nobody don't seem to be understanding those things. So I want to make sure that it's added to our minutes, that we will follow the administrative manual and also whatever procedure set for to run this board. Now, that'll save us a lot of lawyer fees and a lot of time calling the lawyer. No, you read it. I have to add that. I don't know what's in. I haven't had a chance to go through the consent agenda because I just got it. It may be in that order.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
There's been moved and second that we approve consent agenda as presented. All those in favor of the roll call vote.
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Did I miss something on this? So when my statement is not inclusive?
No, but I figured she was noting what you said, and that will be in the minutes going forward.
I didn't, is that not in these minutes right here?
I'm not sure what to read these minutes.
I made that statement the last meeting. But I didn't have a chance to read through what my statement was made for the last meeting, which should be a part of the minutes now. If it's inclusive, but I made the statement in the minutes last meeting, and my statement should be inclusive in these minutes from what I made the last time. So I haven't had a chance to really, I just got it, so I don't know if it's inclusive. But it should have been inclusive, and that should be a part of these minutes.
Okay, well, can I get a new motion then to approve with the amended consent agenda for the minutes?
What do we amend?
To make sure that his statement was in there.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve amended, consent agenda. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell.
Aye.
Chair A. Strong.
Aye. At this time, we move on. Can I get a motion that we go into public hearing?
I move that we go into public hearing.
Second.
Has been moved and second that we now enter into public hearing. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair A. Strong.
Aye.
Good evening.
Anyone, Mr. Clerk?
The applicant, Mr. Charles White, is requesting to rezone property he owns. He wants to rezone a portion of property 2168E and the entire piece of property that affects 2168F. He wants to rezone it from R1C to R2B. The subject property is currently rezoned R1C, single-family residential. As I stated, the applicant is requesting that the portion of 68E is entirely 68F be rezoned to R2A multifamily residential so that he can utilize the property for construction of 4-unit efficiency apartments. The proposed zoning designation, R2A multiple family district, was established to provide appropriate locations for housing consisting primarily of rental apartments and other dwelling types, preferring higher densities. This district is intended to be established only in locations where water and sewer are available, and the primary intent of this district is to promote the establishment within the county of a variety of higher density housing types designed primarily for rental at affordable prices. When we look at the comp plan, the subject property is located in a medium density residential area of the comp plan's future land use plan. The medium density classification allows for greater density and variation in housing type, but only compromises a small portion of the county's total land area. Medium density residential area includes small lots, single family developments, as well as apartment townhouses for development. Future uses generally include apartment buildings and complexes, townhouses, condominiums, or other forms of multifamily development. This range of housing density provides for different housing opportunities. Residential development should be allowed up to 8 units per acre within this district. Residential areas around Emporia, along the major thoroughfares, such as 301, are most conducive for this type of medium density residential development. The property is also located within the urban service development area. This is the area designated by the county that are appropriate for higher density developments due to the proximity of transportation facilities and the available public community water and sewer systems. When we look at Chapter 4 of the comprehensive plan, it addresses housing affordability. Housing affordability indicators suggest a need to further improve affordable housing options within the county. A significant portions of households in Greensville County struggle to make ends meet due to the imbalance between the cost of housing and the median household income of the area. When we look at the comp plan's goals and strategies, the comp plan suggests we plan and zone for sufficient supply of developable land in the county's existing developed areas where public utilities are available and with a wide range of housing types and densities. The strategy section also states that we should support the development of affordable and moderate cost housing, including multifamily and senior housing, particularly as 50 major employers located in Greensville County. And it also encourages the development of housing for older residents in approximate locations to allow residents to remain within the community in which they live, and active. After result reviewing the comp plan, staff recommends approval of the applicant's request, and it was unanimously voted on by the planning commission at the last meeting to approve the applicant's request. Do you have any questions or concerns?
No questions or concerns. We need some more housing. Do we have anyone that has signed up to speak?
No, ma'am, no one has signed up.
Mr. White, the applicant, is here. I don't know if he wants to address the board or not. He said he's good.
Oh,
Thank you.
Can I get a motion that we return to regular session?
Return to regular session.
It's been moved and second that we return to regular session. All those in favor with the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair A.
Aye. Now actions resulting from the public hearing.
I move that we approve zoning map amendment application for ZMA -2 2025.
Second.
It has been moved and second that we approve, ZMA -2 2025. All those in favor with the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair A.
Aye. Moving on to items with appointments. AAR Black History presentation by Ms. Adria Merritt.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So it is my pleasure to have the opportunity to stand before you to celebrate my great uncle, Garland Basin, the Honorable Garland Basin, whose picture happens to be poking out from right there, looking at us. So he was a lifelong resident of Greensville County. So what's really special when we look at him, especially for tonight being in front of you guys, he served 32 continuous years as either an appointed or an elected official in Greensville County. So that's from 1963 to 1995, right? So just giving you all a timeline, looking at those. So in November of 1963, he was the first African-American to hold elected office as the Justice of the Peace for the Zion District. And then he went on in August of 1975, he was the first African-American who was appointed to the Board of Supervisors. At that time, he was appointed for the unexpired term of the Honorable B.A. Moore. So that's when he filled that seat. But then in November, he was actually elected to the Board of Supervisors. He served as the chairman from 1984 to 1985. But when we talk about being a lifelong resident, I think what also stands out was not just the commitment to the Board of Supervisors, but also he really lived a life of service in Greensville County. He was a deacon, a choir member, the superintendent of the Sunday school of Mars Hill Baptist Church. So if you go down Low Ground Road, all the way deep down, Mars Hill is still there, and I can even remember some Sunday solos, for better or for worse, that he would sing, okay? He was also the board on the board of directors of the CYC. CYC is still alive and well, and he served in that, really believing in the youth of the community. He was on the Greensville County Local Welfare Board, and I actually have the timestamp of that from 1982 to 1990. He was on that board. He was a member of the NAACP, Mecklenburg Electric Cooperative Board for 16 years. And what's interesting is he could not have another term because they had bylaws that had age restrictions, right? So he could not have another term because he aged out according to their bylaws. But that was after 16 years. And he was a member of the Elks Lodge. So what you see is it wasn't just a commitment in terms of that elected role, but truly a man of the community, believing that you serve, right, in the community where you are to make it better. He was also an entrepreneur, right? So what you see to the right is the Basin store that used to be down Low Ground Road. That store was actually started by his father, my great-grandfather, J.J. Basin. And I think that was really important to being the pulse of the community. I even can remember growing up going in that store, it had one of those wooden floors, because you know it was an old one, and it had one of those big heaters in there and those benches. And you would have people from the community who would come in, and they weren't just buying things. And you had the old-timey soda, and you could buy the sardines and the cheese and all that. But what was really nice is people would sit around and they would talk. And so that's really where you found out, when we talk about serving the community, the pulse of the community, because people would gather and they would talk. So it was like his ear was to the ground, to the pulse of the community where he served. And so there you can see him in front of the store. He was also a successful peanut farmer and landowner. He was a family man. Of course, that's how I know him. So we can see him with my Aunt Punchy. His granddaughter is in the room right here, and so great-granddaughter, I think that's fabulous when we look at still Greensville County residents, right? And so here you can see, we just remember after Mars Hill being able to sit down there and just have family gatherings there. So that was really, really important. So a man of rich history. That's J.J. Faison, my great-grandparents, his parents, and he was one of 7 siblings, many whom lived here or in Southampton County. So here we have my Aunt Janice, my cousin Janice, and Carl, who is Board of Supervisors in Southampton County. And so again, that rich fiber lives on in what he planted there. A lasting legacy. That's where the picture in December of 1995, the portrait, the ceremony there. And then what was really nice is when he expired, options were few. Because when you make an impact and you got big shoes, options to come behind you are few at the time. So really that lasting legacy. So I'm just thankful that I was able to just lift up that moment, because you all, you know what it's like, you're serving the community. And so he was a man who really put his heart into it, and his legacy still continues. So thank you all for letting me have that moment to celebrate him today, February, as we kick off Black History Month. Okay?
Thank you.
I told her what Miss Mary left off was he had some of the best country sausage you could ever want to eat in your life. And you could go down there and they ground the sausage right there after you've been on the phone watching them kill hoes all day. And you go there in the Faison store and they grind that sausage up. And like you said, you sit there all day long. You had conversation while they grind that sausage. So that was a great memory that even I have as a child growing up.
And I'm gonna say this, I never had a chance to meet him. I guess I graduated high school and I left. And the year actually I moved back to Emporia, pretty much with you guys, I actually never had a chance to actually meet him. But I'm so happy for you to come to present him to us tonight.
And then we have the resolution of Black History Month, Resolution 2635, February 2026. Whereas the month of February has been set aside as a time to recognize accomplishments by African Americans, and whereas 2 natives of Southside Virginia, the late Dr. Charles Drew and Dr. Carter G. Woodson, and many others were instrumental in initiating scholarly studies of Black history and other historical endeavors. And whereas the late Garland P. Faison was the first African American to hold an elected office in Greensville County, first as Justice of the Peace, and then as a member of the Board of Supervisors for 20 years, where he was dedicated to improving conditions in the county for all citizens. Now therefore be it resolved that the Greensville County Board of Supervisors does hereby recognize February 2026 as Black History Month in Greensville County. Be it further resolved that the Greensville County Board of Supervisors encourages all Greensville County residents to actively pursue information that will enlighten them on the many valuable accomplishments to Greensville County by African Americans. This time, can I get a motion that we approve Resolution 2635?
I move that we approve resolution 26-35,
Second.
recognition of Black History Month, February 2026.
All right, it has been moved and second that we approve Resolution 2635. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair A. Strop.
Aye. All right, moving on, road matters.
Ms. Eastrock, we do not have anyone here tonight from VDOT. I know they're still working on clearing the roads. Just wanted to, while we had a moment, to express our thanks to multiple people during the last two storms. We had the ice and snowstorm first, and of course, the subsequent snowstorm that we just had, and there's a possibility of a couple inches probably tonight. So just wanted to publicly say thank you. We reached out to Virginia Department of Transportation. They provided us with 20 tons of salt. We had already previously purchased several pallets. We had 6 pallets of ice salt ourselves, but we went through 3.5 the first snowstorm. So we were able to secure an additional 20 tons or roughly 44,000 pounds of ice salt. We worked hard to clean the areas. You know, we have the parking lot here, the complex here, the courthouse, the clerk's office, Commonwealth's attorney's office, as well as some other locations, as well as the collection sites. We appreciate residents. We know it's not been ideal for residents to be able to dump behind the Golden Leaf. We were able to open one collection site the other day, but we're just trying to keep our employees and our citizens' safety in mind because a lot of those sites are still ice, and unfortunately you cannot scrape them very much because they're rocks. We're currently exploring other options to see if we can do something with some of the other sites in light of this. We've not had a storm like this with ice in a number of years. We appreciate the residents being willing to work with us, and staff has dedicated a tremendous amount of time. We have some employees who work, this is their 16th day working straight because of the storm. We even got a positive response from a citizen thanking Mr. Parker for giving them another option to dump the trash behind the Golden Leaf. Again, we know it's not ideal, but we appreciate everybody working with us as we continue to move forward trying to get these reopened. So I just want to make sure we thank VDOT again for giving us 20 tons of salt on Friday. And then again for our staff, both our county and our water and sewer staff who worked tirelessly over the last, like I said, some 16 days trying to get these issues addressed. So thank you.
Yes, I want to thank the entire team for working very hard with back-to-back storms, and like you said, potential for more tonight and tomorrow. So we want to keep everyone as safe as possible, and we thank you all for doing the extra work that you all have been doing around the clock. At this time, I will be giving the comments concerning Washington Park. So back on behalf of the board, back in September, this board voted to end the lease of the current tenants at Washington Park site. This board has received several calls thanking them for that action, as well as people who are against that action. At the end of the day, this board's only one goal is to have tenants that will work with all of the community and to keep programs running for the community at this facility. Since the RFP process has already begun, I will be appointing Mr. James Brown and Mr. Bill Kane to serve on the committee tasked with exploring the future use of the Washington Park site. The committee will work to identify and evaluate potential new or old tenants for the property and, if appropriate, coordinate with the county regarding the possibility of the county oversight and operation of the site. Their efforts will focus on ensuring the space continues to serve the needs and the interests of the community. We appreciate Mr. Brown and Mr. Kane for their willingness to lend their time, experience, and leadership to this important initiative, and we look forward to the community's progress and recommendations. So at this time, we will go into citizens' comments. Mr. Cyphers, will you please read the statement?
Yes, we'll go ahead and read the statement. We don't have anyone signed up, but just so everyone is aware, citizens' comments is an opportunity for citizens to share matters of interest to citizens with the Board of Supervisors. During citizens' comments, the supervisors do not engage in dialogue with speakers and do not respond to questions from speakers. In the back of the room, there's a sign-up sheet for citizens' comments. Please sign up if you wish to address the supervisors. There's a 3-minute time limit on each speaker, and the time limit will be strictly enforced. If you have a question, staff will make note and respond later. Please be sure that your comments are civil and that you do not defame or disparage individuals or groups. Before you begin speaking, please state your name and address the record. Thank you. As I mentioned, we don't have anyone signed up. We wanted to make sure we read that statement.
Yes, sir. Is no one in the room that does want to speak, is it? They just didn't know they were supposed to sign up? Okay, with that being said, we're gonna move to old business, the observed holiday 2026 calendar.
Yes, Chair Astrop, attached in your agenda packet is item F, which is the observed holiday 2026 schedule. This was originally presented at the last month's board meeting. However, the question was to grant staff an additional half a day on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, as well as an additional day on New Year's Eve. The board directed us to find out the additional cost. We have determined the additional cost to be approximately $4,200. Because this is in another fiscal year, because it occurs after July 1, which is when our new fiscal year begins, staff is requesting that we approve the observed holidays 2026 calendar as presented, and we will revisit the additional half a days off in the budget process for the fiscal year 2027.
I move we approve the observed holiday list as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve the observed holiday list for 2026. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conway.
Aye.
Chair Astrop.
Aye.
Yes, the next item on the agenda is the rescinding of the cost of living increase. This was done in error at the previous meeting. Staff requests to rescind that and what was proposed. As part of that, you have resolution 26-39, which staff recommends that you approve it to rescind the cost of living.
In opposition to this, this is why I made my earlier statement. When this came before us, I don't know who put it on the agenda. And when we voted it in, Ms. A. the chair, said that, you can't get this after the next election. I can't see who was thinking that this was going to be a raise for us after the next election. So it would be very simple for us to just to add it. It takes place July the 1st, 2028. Therefore, we don't even have to go back to the process again.
Yes, sir.
So when I found out somebody said they thought it was starting immediately, on this board right now, you can only vote for an election. After the election, nobody on this board, unless they get reelected, can get that raise. So I don't know who was thinking that was going to be immediately, but I would say we just add January 1st, 2028, since we've already made it, and we know we're not going to get the raise, and whoever's sitting here on January 2020 would be one to get the raise.
That will be something I'd have to check with Mr. Slayton to see if we can approve a resolution not far in advance for the raise for an effective date. You're proposing to leave it as presented or as approved at last board meeting and just add a caveat that it would not take place until 2028.
Right, because like I said, I don't know how to get that initially, because we know normally we would always do it by October, the year of the leading to the election year. I read that someone thought it would immediately get started. And I know that the sheriff last time said, it won't take effect until after the election. So I thought that was understood. It can't take effect after the election.
Do you all want to table it and get further legal counsel on it?
I feel that we can address this before the time comes up. I make a motion that we approve the resolution 26-39.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve resolution 26-39. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
No.
Supervisor Conway.
Aye.
Chair Astrop.
All right, moving on to new business. Resolution 26-36, Commonwealth of Virginia State Board of Social Services Benefits Program Specialist Appreciation Month.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Cypress, I am here on behalf of the fantastic Greensville Supporting Department of Social Services. And I think it was a friend with me to stand with me here. This is something that I think is necessary because unfortunately, a lot of times social services is in the news, sometimes for some of the bad stuff, but there's so many good things that are taking place. And I think it is very important for us to acknowledge some of the great work that part of our team does. For social services, there are pretty much three areas we work from. We work from the benefit side of the house, and we have services, and then we have admin and finance. And so this particular resolution that the state is honoring is the benefit side of the house. These are the people that get individuals all the benefits that they have already qualified for. And it's quite a bit. And so I have a couple of representatives from the team right here from the benefits out of the house. We have a lead worker here. We have one of our great workers here. And I believe one of our supervisors, the most tenured supervisor for our team, is in the house somewhere. They're getting nervous. Let's call her by her name since we're on this recording. So with that being said, just want to say thank you guys for the opportunity to serve our community. And it's always when you're in trouble that you realize what you really have. Because when things are well, everyone works well, right? But when things are challenging, that's when you realize what you have. The type of things that was mentioned earlier with the weather and some of the other challenges that we're dealing with from the federal side of the house, it makes a big deal that we have people in position to really do our community well. And so I'm proud to stand with these individuals. And you can look behind me for timeliness of our benefit programs. This team, pound for pound, month in and month out, is meeting the state's timeliness standards every single month. And if I could just give like 5 seconds of applause for the benefit program team. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And also want to make mention that we have this board that surrounds us and supports us. We have individuals from the county and the city that sit on that board. And we have an administrative board. That means this is the board that's required to administratively ensure that what we say we're doing, they're making sure we actually do it. So with that being said, I'm also would be really out of place to not honor and thank the Lord for the board that we have. Mr. James Brown is our board chair. We have Mr. William Johnson, we have Mr. Cyphers, we have Chair Nate Stroff, and we have Mr. Mark Lilly, and they serve on the Social Services Board. And so with that being said, there's a lot of wording here, so forgive us for all the numbers. These are statewide numbers. It says, whereas Virginia has provided, listen to this number, $16,568,290,585 in benefits to the most vulnerable citizens of the Commonwealth by administering supplemental nutritional assistance program, temporary assistance for needy families, medical assistance, child care, general relief, auxiliary grant, foster care, 4E, refugee cash assistance, employment services, energy assistance, all by the local Department of Social Services. And whereas Virginia's legislature continues to create opportunities to reach more families that may be eligible for benefit programs and have significantly impacted our economy and the services provided by the local benefit program specialists, calling upon them to creatively promote individual self-sufficiency and personal responsibility. And whereas Virginia continues to experience unprecedented implementation of complex policies and procedures in all major benefit programs, as well as continue the processes of transition as agencies make changes to the work environment, working and relying on technology for processing cases and issuing benefits as we move forward as a resilient, essential employees. And whereas Virginia's 4,045 benefit program staff, which includes 3,515 specialists, 482 supervisors, and 48 managers, have been at the forefront of public efforts to meet that need, steadily maintaining a high rate of application processing and case management to ensure that those qualified social services benefit programs receive and continue to receive them. And 168,524,168 was received by TANF recipients in Virginia to help with household expenses, including those participating in the Virginia Initiative for Education and Work with Employment Services and Training Needs, Emergency Assistance and Diversionary Benefits, and 14,817,770 received by SNAP employed and training participants. 2,480,145,361 that was provided in food benefits to SNAP participants. 13,441,259,053 in medical care services throughout several different medical assistance programs. 106,300,000 distributed to help support energy assistance households, heating and cooling needs. 318,168,268 for child care services. 33,786,124 for 4E for children under 17 in foster care. Another 5,289,849 1,440 young adults, all served through the Benefit Programs Division and depend on the dedication and commitment of benefit program specialists. Whereas benefit program specialists provide ethical public services, respect human dignity, demonstrate personal integrity, promote professional excellence, and are responsible for the application of current policies and guidance. Now therefore be it resolved on this third day of February 2026, Board of Supervisors does hereby commend all benefit program specialists across the Commonwealth of Virginia, including the Greensville and Porter Department of Social Services, for a job well done, and recognizes the month of February 2026 as Benefit Program Specialist Appreciation Month, and calling upon all the citizens of Greensville County to join in acknowledging their public service contributions.
Excellent job.
That's a mouthful.
I'm so glad you read that.
I'm sure they are too. I told them they were going to be doing that. And listen,
Thank you for doing what you did. With that, I approve resolution 26.
second.
Has been moved to second that we approve resolution 26-36 as presented. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conway. Chair A.
Aye.
I just want, but you know you all doing a very good job over there. Been a difference since, I've been on the board. So thank you all for it.
And Chair Astrop, I'd also like to add thanks too as well to Mr. Hawley and his team. When we had the first storm and thought we were gonna have severe power outages, we had to stand up a team to put together a shelter very quickly, which included staff from the county, Mr. Hawley's staff, and the city of Emporia in case we had to open up a shelter. So I want to thank them as well for their assistance.
Yes, thank you for everything that you all continue to do on a daily basis. Yes.
I will look for that.
Thank
you. Next is resolution of members or stockholders, United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development. Ms. Lee.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The Maymac site would like to pursue a BDO zone certification. That means it is a branded certification that promotes bio-based development opportunities or wood-based, woody residue waste that can be turned into energy or other products. This is a worldwide understood certification. It will prove that the site is biomanufacturing ready and has successful characteristics to make a developer successful on the site. This will also be for a 60-mile radius, so we are partnering with companies in Dinwiddie, Sussex, Brunswick, Southampton, and possibly into North Carolina, because they also would be able to use this rating because they would be within the region of the certification. Now, this very lengthy, boring resolution in front of you was written by federal lawyers, so I am not going to read mine, but I would ask that you approve the resolution allowing us to apply for grant funds that will pay for the certification process. Two things I want to point out. Number one, if we don't get the grant, we don't go after the certification. And number two, there is no match from the county required.
Can I get a motion?
There's no resolution number on this.
No, we're not allowed to modify.
I want to make a motion to approve the resolution of the numbers of stockholders in the United States Department of Agriculture.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve the resolution of members or stockholders for the United States Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conway.
Aye.
Chair A.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
resolution should be, the grant should be due at the end of February, so by early summer, we should have an answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next is resolution 26 dash, and actually they're mixed up. So 26-38 is ending the declaration, and resolution 2639 is, 37. Well, this one says 38 for the ending of the declaration. I don't see 37 in
37, that's on that first. The first.
Thank you. We're sorry about that, Mr. Astrop. Resolution 26-37 was the initial declaration of a local emergency. On January 22nd, 2026, the governor of Virginia declared a state of emergency in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Subsequently, the county declared an emergency on behalf of Ms. Astrop and myself. This is the resolution, just the formality to declare this local emergency. So staff asks that you approve the resolution 2637, declaration of local emergency as presented.
I move that we approve resolution 26-37, declaration of local emergency.
It's been moved and second that we approve resolution 26-37. All those in favor of the roll call vote.
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair Astrop.
Now, resolution 26-38, ending the declaration of, local emergency.
Yes, Chair Astrop, we have resolution 26-38, ending the declaration of local emergency. On Friday, January the 23rd, Ms. Astrop, Chair, along with myself as the Director of Emergency Services, published a notice of the county office closures due to anticipated severe weather. And then on Wednesday, we determined that the local emergency no longer existed, and we published notice of reopening the county offices. Staff requests that you approve resolution 26-38, ending the declaration of local emergency.
I move we approve resolution 26-38.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve resolution 26-38, ending the declaration of local emergency. All those in favor of the roll call vote.
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair Astrop.
Aye. There being no other business, I get a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we adjourn. All those in favor of the roll call vote.
Supervisor Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane. Supervisor Conwell. Chair Astrop.
Aye.
Okay. Like to call, just, Water and Sewer Authority. Can I get a roll call?
Supervisor Astrop.
Present.
Supervisor Kane. Supervisor Conwell. Chair Brown.
Present. Can I get approval for the agenda?
Chair Brown, staff requests that you amend the agenda as follows, just as with the county agenda. We had to have the agenda finalized early with the weather. Staff requests that section 4, approval of consent agenda, add item A, approval of minutes, regular meeting minutes of the January 5th, 2026 Greensville County Water and Sewer meeting. Under section B, add item number 3, approval of payroll for January 31st, 2026 in the amount of $128,249.04. And then under section 6, old business, add item C, resolution WS 26-6, rescinding cost of living increase. Staff requests that you approve the agenda as amended.
I move we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Been moved and second. Roll call.
Supervisor Astrop.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair Brown.
Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor? Roll call.
Supervisor Astrop.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell.
Aye.
Chair Brown.
Next, we have items of appointments, 9, old business, 9. Oh.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, item A, observe holidays 2026. Just as I mentioned during the Board of Supervisors meeting, this was originally presented at January meeting. Mr. Kane requested that an additional half a day be given off to staff on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, as well as an additional half a day for the New Year's Eve holiday. Staff has sent you all the requested information. As mentioned before, this will be taken up during the 2027 budget process, which will be approved prior to June 30th of 2026. And staff asks or recommends that you approve the observed holiday 2026 calendar as presented, and we will revisit the other later during the budget process.
I move that we approve the observed holiday 2026 calendar.
Been moved and second. All in favor?
Supervisor Astrop.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane.
Aye.
Supervisor Conwell. Chair Brown.
Next, we have the rescind Greensville County Board of Supervisors cost of living adjustment.
Yes, sir. Just as we presented in the county side as well, this is in reference to rescinding the cost of living adjustments as well as the accompanying resolution WS 26-6, rescinding of cost of living increases. Staff requests that you approve WS 26-6, rescinding cost of living.
I move to approve resolution WS 26-6.
Second.
Been moved to second, all in favor, roll call.
Supervisor A.
Aye.
Supervisor Kane,
No,
Supervisor Conwell, Chair Brown.
Next, we have new business, state economic instruction development grant, single tenancy.
Yes, sir, Chair Brown. I'm gonna ask Shakee Franklin to come up. She has some exciting news to share in reference to a grant that we were awarded. One of the projects we definitely are working on is replacing the water lines in Jarrett. They're a number of years old, way past their prime. So we are working to secure funding. This project is over $7 million. So we're working to secure as much grant funding as possible to help offset the cost of those projects. So Ms. Franklin is here to share some exciting news for the board.
Good evening, board chair, board members. We, as Mr. Cyphers already mentioned, as we know, the Greensville County Water and Sewer, the Jarrett Water project is over $7 million. So this is a little more than a drop in the bucket, but it's going to get us a step closer to where we need to be in order to get the pipes restructured. And so we applied for the Southeast Crescent Regional Commission, or the SCRC grant, in the amount of $350,000. This was a two-part application. The first part of the application was an initial application, and then you had to be invited to do the full application. And so we got to step 2, and fortunately we were able to secure the $350,000 of those funds. There was 156 applicants, and so Greensville County Water and Sewer was one of 86 successful applicants that was awarded the funding. So we are excited about that. That will get us the engineering that's necessary to get the architectural drawings to move a little bit further in the Jarrett Water project. Questions? No.
thank you, we got money.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Franklin. I'd just like to make sure we thank our staff, Ms. Franklin, Ms. Green, Ms. Slate, Mr. Sanders, all worked very hard on, hopefully I didn't leave anybody out, on getting this done. And we appreciate you all working so hard to give us some additional money that we don't have to pay out of our regular budget. Thank you.
Any more questions, statement? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved to second, all in favor?
Supervisor A. Supervisor Kane, Supervisor Conwell, Chair Brown.
Thank you all for coming out tonight.